Imagine a golden, sun-kissed fruit, a symbol of tropical bliss, celebrated for its vibrant taste and touted health benefits. For many, it's a guilt-free pleasure, perhaps even a secret weapon against inflammation. But what if this seemingly innocent delight holds a hidden agenda, particularly for legs that have carried us through decades? Pineapple often gets praised for containing bromelain, an enzyme with potential anti-inflammatory properties. And yes, bromelain can be beneficial. But here's where the sunshine story takes a sharp, unexpected turn, especially for bodies that have seen a few more seasons. You're savoring that sweet, tangy flesh, picturing bromelain performing its anti-inflammatory magic. But beneath that tropical façade, a different kind of war might be waging. Pineapple is packed with natural sugars and quite a bit of acid too. For a younger, resilient system, this might not pose much concern. But as the body ages, its ability to manage blood sugar often becomes less efficient. For an aging metabolism, that burst of sweetness isn't a gentle wave. It's a sugar tsunami, crashing through your system with potential to affect delicate blood vessels. This isn't a dramatic, sudden pain. It's far more insidious, a gradual, creeping sensation that might manifest as unexpected heaviness in your legs or subtle changes in circulation that you can't quite place. The plot thickens. That very enzyme, bromelain, hailed as a natural wonder, can turn into an unwitting accomplice, especially for those navigating the delicate balance of medication. If you're taking blood thinners, anticoagulants, or antiplatelet drugs, bromelain can potentially amplify their effects, increasing the risk of bruising or bleeding. It's like having a well-meaning but dangerously misinformed helper, turning a delicate situation into a precarious tightrope walk. Often, these subtle changes are dismissed as simply getting older, but what if your healthy pineapple habit is a quiet, insidious contributor? You believe you're adding a health soldier to your ranks, but this tropical fruit might be subtly undermining your efforts, particularly when it comes to leg comfort and vascular health. The bitter irony stings. The fruit you embraced for its promise of vitality could, for your aging body, be a Trojan horse, silently working against the very strength and ease of movement you seek. It's a chilling reminder that in the complex chemistry of our bodies, even the most cherished allies can become unintended adversaries. So, the next time you reach for that vibrant yellow fruit, perhaps pause and consider, is this slice a friend or a foe in disguise today, particularly given your unique health landscape? What other healthy habits might warrant a second look as our bodies change? 1. Just when you thought you'd unmasked the pineapple, another seemingly innocent fruit, often hailed as the athlete's best friend and the ultimate cramp preventer, steps into the spotlight. We're talking about the humble banana, a fruit so ingrained in our perception of health, it feels almost sacrilegious to question it. Yet, for legs that have carried us through decades, this yellow powerhouse might be a wolf in sheep's clothing. That lovely banana, a veritable rocket fuel of natural sugars and quick-digesting carbohydrates, doesn't just send blood sugar levels on a rapid ascent for an aging metabolism. It detonates a glycemic explosion. For a body no longer nimble in its insulin response, this isn't just a gentle rise. It's a forced march towards insulin resistance, a metabolic stalemate where cells grow deaf to insulin's call. The grim consequence? Impaired blood flow, particularly to the extremities, leaving those vital leg muscles starved of oxygen and nutrients, struggling to clear metabolic debris. This isn't about a sudden, sharp pain like a Charlie horse you might associate with a potassium deficit. This is far more insidious. It's that dull, nagging soreness in your thighs or calves that you can't quite explain. It's that feeling of heaviness, particularly noticeable an hour or two after a meal that included a banana, making your legs feel like lead weights. Or perhaps it's an uncharacteristic stiffness in your calves, even when you haven't overexerted yourself. You might even find that your usual walk feels more arduous, your legs tiring sooner than you'd expect. Imagine the diligent walker who religiously fuels their morning stroll with a banana, convinced they're fortifying their muscles for the journey. Yet, hours later, an inexplicable leadenness settles in their calves, a nagging ache in their thighs, a profound sense of fatigue that they simply dismiss as just getting older. They're actively trying to support their muscle health, but could this very habit, so lauded for its vitality, be subtly undermining their efforts? The cruel irony, almost poetic in its deception, lies in this. You reach for the banana, this universally lauded icon of muscle power and vitality, believing you're empowering your body for effortless movement. Yet, for an aging system grappling with sugar metabolism, this very fruit, once a trusted ally, might be quietly contributing to the very leg discomfort and compromised mobility you desperately seek to avoid. It's like entrusting the guardian of your fortress to a saboteur who, with every well-intentioned act, subtly erodes the very foundations. So, the banana you've been relying on, the one nestled comfortably in your healthy routine, is it truly your leg's unwavering champion or a cunning saboteur in disguise, subtly undermining your quest for comfortable, unburdened mobility? What if the true path to lighter, more vibrant legs lies not in adding more of these seemingly innocuous healthy foods, but in a courageous reevaluation of long-held beliefs through the unforgiving lens of our changing physiology? 2. Just when you thought the banana had revealed its deceptive nature, what about those glistening globes of health, grapes? Celebrated for their antioxidants, they seem utterly benign. But what if their sweetness, so readily embraced, holds a secret sting, not for your blood sugar alone, but for the very joints that carry you? We see them everywhere, plump, juicy, marketed as heart-healthy, packed with antioxidants like resveratrol. They're the go-to snack, the elegant addition to a cheese board, the symbol of a light, refreshing bite. But could these seemingly innocent little orbs be launching a stealth attack on the joints of those whose bodies have gracefully weathered the decades? But for an aging liver, often less adept at metabolic acrobatics, the concentrated fructose in grapes presents a unique challenge. When this liver is presented with a significant fructose load, it can get overwhelmed. That excess fructose, unable to be processed smoothly for energy, often takes a biochemical detour. While some converts to triglycerides, crucially for our discussion, it can ramp up the production of uric acid, the very same culprit behind the excruciating pain of gout. Imagine not just inflammation, but the insidious creep of microscopic, needle-sharp crystals silently precipitating in your joint capsules. That sudden, inexplicable jolt of pain in your big toe that wakes you up at night. An ankle that swells without warning. A knee that screams with every step up the stairs. These aren't just the random cruelties of time. They are the potential echoes of a uric acid surge, directly fueled by those seemingly innocent grapes. The true cunning of the grape lies in its deceptive convenience. Unlike a bulky mango or a filling apple, grapes are built for effortless consumption. They're miniature, bite-sized explosions of sweetness, designed to be popped, one after another, without conscious thought. Half a pound vanishes in a distracted moment. A television show, a casual conversation, a volume of fructose that would feel monumental if consumed from a single, larger fruit. This just one more mentality isn't merely a habit. It's a trap, silently delivering a payload that your aging joints may bitterly regret. Picture the diligent health seeker meticulously adding a generous handful of grapes to their morning yogurt or mindlessly snacking on a bowl while unwinding. They envision antioxidants flooding their system, vitality surging. Yet, hours later, that familiar, inexplicable stiffness in their fingers or a throbbing ache in their foot begins to manifest. They blame the weather or just getting older, never suspecting that the very fruit they champion for wellness might be the silent architect of their discomfort, crystallizing trouble within their joints. This isn't an indictment of a fruit, but a stark, often uncomfortable truth about our changing physiology. The innocent handful of grapes, once a simple pleasure, can, for an aging body, become a surprisingly potent inflammatory trigger, especially for the delicate ecosystem of your joints. So, as you gaze upon that glistening bunch, ask yourself, Is this truly a harmless indulgence? Or could it be the subtle architect of discomfort, igniting that unwelcome, fiery ache? The path to unburdened movement may lie not in outright avoidance, but in a courageous reevaluation of what truly serves your body, one mindful choice at a time. 3. Continuing our journey through deceptive foods, let's turn our attention to summer's favorite refreshment, watermelon. After exposing the hidden dangers of grapes and bananas, this juicy red treat might seem like the perfect innocent indulgence on a hot day. What could be more harmless than a fruit that's mostly water, right? But here's where watermelon plays its clever trick. While it masquerades as nature's hydration solution, it's secretly delivering what I call a liquid sugar bomb to your system. Unlike other fruits where sugar is bound up in fiber and complex carbohydrates, watermelon sugars are dissolved in its abundant water content, creating a delivery system that sends sugar racing into your bloodstream with alarming speed. This isn't just any sugar spike, it's a veritable sugar tsunami. Watermelon has a surprisingly high glycemic index, meaning those natural sugars hit your circulation with an urgency that rivals some commercial sugary drinks. The deception is masterful. You think you're simply hydrating, while your body is actually scrambling to manage a significant sugar surge. For younger bodies with robust metabolic systems, this might be a manageable temporary disruption. But for those of us in our later years, when our sugar processing facilities aren't operating at peak efficiency anymore, this sudden glucose flood forces our pancreas into overdrive. These repeated blood sugar roller coasters not only intensify insulin resistance, but trigger a cascade of micro-inflammatory responses throughout the body. And where does this inflammation often settle? In those areas where circulation is already compromised, your legs. This is watermelon's unique pathway to creating discomfort. The combination of rapid sugar absorption and inflammatory response leads to fluid retention and impaired circulation, making your legs feel inexplicably heavy and swollen. Picture this scenario. It's a sweltering afternoon, and you treat yourself to a generous slice of ice-cold watermelon, believing you're making a wonderfully healthy choice. The immediate sensation is divine, cool, refreshing, and seemingly light. Yet hours later, or perhaps the next morning, you notice your legs feel like they're filled with lead. Your ankles appear puffy, your shoes feel tight, and each step requires more effort than it should. You might blame standing too long, the summer heat, or simply write it off as another unwelcome sign of aging. The last thing you'd suspect is that innocent watermelon slice, and that's precisely what makes it so treacherous. This is watermelon's most cunning disguise, operating under the banner of hydration while executing a sugar assault. Your body isn't just handling water. It's weathering an internal sugar storm that manifests as persistent fatigue in your legs, mysterious swelling, and a heaviness that diminishes your mobility and comfort. Unlike obvious desserts that trigger our caution, watermelon presents itself with the purest health halo, all while silently detonating invisible sugar explosives within your circulatory system. It's not a refreshing spring of hydration, but a water-soluble Trojan horse, quietly delivering its sugar payload to your increasingly sensitive joints and blood vessels. So the next time you're faced with that glistening red wedge, especially if you've been struggling with unexplained leg discomfort, take a moment to reconsider. That seemingly innocent bite of summer refreshment might actually be the hidden culprit behind your aching legs and compromised mobility. Those healthy choices we make without thinking twice could be the very source of our deepest discomforts. 4. All right, let's peel back the layers on another household favorite that's practically synonymous with good health: the orange. We immediately think vitamin C powerhouse and immune system booster, but what if this sunny, cheerful fruit is playing a rather cunning double game when it comes to our aging knees and joints? While vitamin C itself is beneficial, the orange delivers it in a package that's notably high in citric acid. This is where our story takes an unexpected turn, especially for those whose joints have weathered many seasons. Here's what happens. When consumed, citric acid enters your bloodstream and circulates throughout your body. if your knee joints are already sensitive or slightly inflamed from years of use. This acid can act as a persistent irritant to those delicate tissues. It's like applying lemon juice to a paper cut, not creating the wound, but certainly making it sing with discomfort. The effect is subtle but cumulative. Someone with mild osteoarthritis might notice their morning stiffness becoming more pronounced after regularly consuming oranges or orange juice. That dull ache in your knees might intensify, yet you'd never suspect your healthy orange habit as the culprit. Many people with rheumatoid arthritis have reported flare-ups after increasing their citrus intake, believing they were boosting their immune system, when in fact they were aggravating their joint inflammation. What makes this particularly deceptive is the orange's sterling reputation. That morning ritual, the glass of orange juice gulped down with the best intentions, could be quietly contributing to your joint discomfort. You might attribute increasing knee pain to aging, damp weather, or a lack of exercise, never suspecting the innocent-looking orange. It sits there with its halo brightly polished, completely above suspicion, unlike obvious culprits such as sugary desserts. The irony is striking. A symbol of fighting illness potentially fanning the flames of chronic discomfort in our most used joints. The very food we reach for to stay healthy might be compromising our mobility. So the next time you reach for that bright orb or pour that golden liquid, especially if your knees have been sending you complaint signals, perhaps pause and consider. Could this emblem of vitality be, for your specific body and its current needs, less of a savior and more of an acidic echo in your aging knees? What small adjustments in your healthy habits might unlock a surprising degree of comfort? If you still crave that vitamin C boost, consider gentler alternatives like bell peppers or broccoli, which provide ample vitamin C without the acidic baggage that might be aggravating your sensitive joints. 5. From the citrus minefield we discussed, let's venture into even more treacherous territory: the deceptively innocent green apple. While oranges wear their acidity openly, green apples operate with a far more sophisticated disguise, cloaked in that pristine, organic labeled virtuousness that practically whispers healthy choice in your ear. You've likely reached for them countless times, congratulating yourself on sidestepping the higher sugar content of their redder, sweeter cousins. But this self-proclaimed health hero might be the most cunning saboteur in your fruit bowl, particularly when it comes to your leg comfort and mobility. That characteristic tartness? It's primarily malic acid, a compound that, while seemingly innocuous in isolation, reveals its true strategy when introduced to the finely tuned, yet increasingly delicate machinery of an aging digestive system. It's not a dramatic villain announcing its presence. It's an insidious acidic whisper that, over time, can erode the very comfort you seek. After enjoying your responsible snack, you might notice a phantom discomfort, a subtle acidic gnawing, or an inexplicable bloat. Symptoms so mild, so transient, that they're easily dismissed as mere age-related quirks, never once linked to that pristine green apple sitting virtuously on your counter. But the plot thickens. Once absorbed, this same malic acid circulates through your bloodstream, and, for those with even mild joint sensitivity, becomes a relentless, microscopic abrasion on already weary cartilage. Imagine diligently choosing green apple for their healthier profile, while unwittingly subjecting your knees to the equivalent of fine grit sandpaper. It doesn't cause the fire of inflammation, but it certainly pours an accelerant onto those smoldering embers, transforming a manageable ache into a persistent throb. The insidious nature of this aggravation lies in its subtlety, a silent saboteur operating beneath the radar of conscious suspicion. Your morning stiffness persists despite your clean eating. That dull ache becomes more pronounced, more insistent, and yet the apple evades all blame. The deception extends to its sugar content. While hailed for being less sweet, this distinction is a cruel misdirection. For a metabolism that has weathered decades, even this seemingly modest sugar payload can trigger a disproportionately violent glycemic roller coaster, a rapid, unceremonious ascent followed by a jarring plummet. This metabolic chaos doesn't just register on a blood test, it reverberates directly into your legs. It manifests as those dreaded night cramps, a sudden, excruciating seize that shatters your sleep and leaves you gasping. It fuels a pervasive morning stiffness, not just in your major joints, but a leaden fatigue that makes even the simplest step feel like a monumental effort. Your legs feel heavy, unwilling, giving out, symptoms you dutifully attribute to the inevitable march of time, never once suspecting the crisp, green, healthy choice you made just hours before. Think about it. You're choosing the green apple because it feels like the responsible, health-conscious decision. It's crisp, it's clean, it often comes with that reassuring organic sticker. It sits there, polished and virtuous, while you lie awake with cramping calves, wake up with stiff joints, and struggle through your morning walk. The green apple, with its carefully cultivated image of purity, completely evades suspicion, a masterful disguise that's fooled even the most health-conscious among us. Could this beacon of supposed health virtue be the silent architect of your discomfort? What if the path to newfound mobility lies not in adding another superfood to your diet, but in listening closely to your body's subtle signals after consuming even these safer fruits? Sometimes the most profound healing begins not with what we add, but with what we finally have the courage to remove. 6. From the citrus minefield we discussed to the deceptively innocent green apple. If the green apple was a master of subtle disguise, prepare yourself for a fruit that wears its allure far more overtly, yet conceals an even more potent secret: the mango. Its velvety flesh, that incredible fragrance, the sheer symphony of sweetness. It's a powerful temptation, a golden promise of tropical bliss. But what if this sun-kissed indulgence, this fruit we often associate with vibrant health, is actually a master of disguise, launching a stealth attack on your already vulnerable joints? We've dissected the sugar payloads of other fruits, but mangoes? They don't just contain sugar. They deliver it with an almost unparalleled efficiency, a concentrated sugar punch that sends your blood glucose on a shockingly rapid, almost explosive ascent. Imagine not just a wave, but a liquid sugar rocket launching through your bloodstream. This isn't merely a fleeting energy dip. This glycemic roller coaster, this sugar inferno, followed by an inevitable void, doesn't just pass. It ignites a profound, often delayed, inflammatory response that cunningly seeks out your body's weakest links. And for many, those vulnerable points are precisely the soft tissues and crucial connectors deep within your ankles, hips, and knees. It's not an immediate burn, but a slow, insidious kindling of discomfort. But here lies the true cunning of the mango. Its very nature is a masterful deception. It feels light, so refreshing, a guilt-free indulgence that melts in your mouth. You might effortlessly consume an entire large one or blend it into a vibrant smoothie, convinced you're nourishing your body with tropical goodness. And in that moment, it is pure, unadulterated bliss. Yet the insidious truth often reveals itself hours later, or even the following morning. That previously manageable hip ache intensifies into a throbbing insistence. An ankle inexplicably swells without a single misstep. Knees, once merely stiff, now scream with a dull, persistent pain. Your body, far from reacting to the perceived lightness, is in fact reeling from the aftermath of a silent, internal sugar explosion. Imagine this: a mid-afternoon mango, eaten with relish, a seemingly innocent delight. By nightfall, or the following dawn, those familiar joint twinges transform into an insistent throb, an inexplicable puffiness around your ankles, a leaden stiffness in your knees. The sweet memory of the fruit is long gone, yet its metabolic echo reverberates directly into your most vulnerable joints. This insidious delay, this profound disconnect between fleeting pleasure and lingering pain, is precisely what makes the mango such a cunning saboteur. It's not to deny the vitamins or fiber it possesses. Those are indeed present. But for an aging system, The sheer volume of sugar and the intensity of the metabolic earthquake it provokes far outweigh these benefits, turning a tropical delight into a sugar bomb with your joints caught in the blast zone. So, the next time that fragrant, golden allure of a mango calls to you, perhaps pause and deeply consider, could this vibrant, seemingly harmless fruit be the silent architect of the very discomfort you're trying to alleviate? What profound, albeit subtle, messages might your joints be sending after such an indulgence? It's time to reevaluate what truly nourishes and what subtly undermines your mobility. 7. If the mango, with its seductive sweetness, unveiled a hidden metabolic turbulence, then prepare for an even more profound revelation. It's not merely about individual fruits and their isolated payloads of sugar or acid. The true, often overlooked, Saboteur lies in a far grander, more insidious transformation, the quiet, relentless march of aging itself. Imagine the body, once a finely tuned orchestra in its vibrant youth, where every section played in perfect, effortless harmony. Sugars were swiftly processed, acids buffered with grace, and circulation flowed like a powerful, cleansing river. But as the years accumulate, a dissonant chord begins to sound. Instruments lose their pitch, players falter, and the once mighty river slows to a languid stream. This isn't just a metaphor. It's the stark, physiological reality. The aging body interprets the exact same piece of fruit not as a familiar melody, but as a jarring, discordant note. Consider the circulatory system, once a network of bustling highways, now a labyrinth of slowing byways, particularly in the extremities, your very legs and feet. When a surge of fruit sugar or a concentration of fruit acids enters this decelerated flow, they don't just pass through. They linger. They pool like stagnant water, exposing delicate tissues to prolonged irritation. The once swift current that flushed away metabolic debris now allows it to accumulate, subtly contributing to that insidious heaviness or unexplained discomfort in your limbs. Then there's the metabolic engine itself. In youth, it roared, swiftly converting sugars into explosive energy. But with age, that powerful engine often sputters, its efficiency diminished. The very fructose from a seemingly innocent pear or a handful of grapes, once a quick fuel source, now becomes a metabolic burden. It's not burned off, it overwhelms the system, leading to more pronounced, more volatile blood sugar spikes. And what inevitably follows such a spike? A crash, yes, but more dangerously, a silent cascade of inflammatory signals, seeking out your body's weakest links. And here lies perhaps the most critical shift: insulin sensitivity. As the years advance, your very cells, once eager to absorb sugar under insulin's command, can begin to resist. This is the chilling reality of insulin resistance. The pancreas works overtime, desperately pumping out more insulin, yet blood sugar levels remain stubbornly elevated. Now, unleash those fruits we've discussed, particularly the higher sugar varieties, into a system already struggling to manage glucose. It's not just a challenge. It's like pouring gasoline onto a smoldering fire. The result? A far more intense, a far more prolonged sugar surge, directly paving the way for inflammation, especially in your already vulnerable joints. Consider the stark contrast. A young person might devour a large bowl of mixed fruit, feeling an immediate burst of energy. But an older individual, with these subtle yet profound physiological shifts, might consume that exact same bowl and, hours later, feel an inexplicable ache in their knees, a new, frustrating stiffness in their ankles, or that pervasive, unexplained leg fatigue. It's not that the fruit has suddenly become toxic. It's that the body's internal environment, its very capacity to process and respond, has undergone a fundamental, often unnoticed, transformation. The sweetness that was once a simple, joyous pleasure can now trigger a complex, detrimental cascade. The acids, once easily neutralized, now contribute to an environment where inflammation can more easily take insidious root. This is not about demonizing fruit universally or stripping away its inherent goodness. It is, however, a critical call to dismantle the dangerous myth of one-size-fits-all nutrition across the lifespan. The very compounds that offer undeniable benefits in one physiological context can tragically become liabilities in another. The vibrant colors, the alluring sweetness, they remain. But the way your aging body interprets and reacts to their complex chemical messages has undergone a profound, often painful, transformation. So, if the body's internal terrain has indeed shifted, rendering it more susceptible to these subtle aggressors, what then? What radical reevaluation must occur in your daily choices to truly safeguard the vitality of your legs and the serenity of your joints? The answer lies not in fear, but in a profound, informed understanding. 8. The unsettling truth about fruits and aging bodies has been laid bare. The very sweetness once celebrated can become a silent adversary, triggering a cascade of inflammation and discomfort in our legs and joints. But what if the solution isn't deprivation, but a profound reevaluation? What if the fruit bowl, far from being a minefield, holds hidden allies, champions that actively fortify rather than subtly undermine our mobility? Forget the notion of a forbidden fruit. Instead, envision a leg-saving larder, a curated collection of nature's true masterpieces, each one a strategic ally in the battle for enduring mobility. These aren't just better choices. They're precisely engineered biological tools designed to harmonize with the aging body, not challenge it. First, the unsung heroes of the fruit world. The deep-hued berries, blackberries, raspberries, blueberries. Their vibrant pigments, anthocyanins, are not mere aesthetics. They are potent bioarchitects. While other fruits unleash a sugary torrent that taxes an aging circulatory system, these berries perform a subtle but profound vascular alchemy. Their anthocyanins don't just support blood flow. They actively fortify the delicate endothelial lining of capillaries, particularly in the legs, where circulation often falters first. Imagine microscopic scaffolding, reinforcing fragile vessel walls, ensuring nutrients reach every cell and waste is efficiently cleared. This isn't just about low sugar. It's about a metabolic counter-strategy, a high-fiber, low-glycemic package that delivers anti-inflammatory power without the metabolic backlash of a sugar surge. They are the quiet engineers, not the flashy sugar bombs. Next, a potent counterpoint to the grapes of wrath, the tart cherry. Where grapes stealthily elevate uric acid, tart cherries, particularly their concentrated juice, offer a strategic retreat. Their unique array of anthocyanins and other phenols doesn't merely calm inflammation. They actively intervene in the body's uric acid metabolism, inhibiting the very enzymes responsible for its overproduction. This isn't just anecdotal relief. It's a biochemical intervention, transforming a fruit into a targeted ally against the searing pain of crystal deposition in joints, offering a path to smoother, less agitated movement. Then, the unlikely fruit that defies all sugary expectations, the avocado. Far from a mere culinary delight, this creamy marvel is a metabolic architect. Its wealth of monounsaturated fats and fiber doesn't just slow sugar absorption. It fundamentally recalibrates the body's insulin response. In an aging system prone to insulin resistance, where cells stubbornly resist glucose uptake, avocado acts as a powerful metabolic mediator. It transforms a potentially chaotic blood sugar spike into a gentle ripple, thereby disarming the inflammatory cascade triggered by glucose overload. Beyond metabolic harmony, its healthy fats contribute to joint lubrication and integrity, offering internal cushioning where other fruits might inadvertently cause friction. It's not just a food. It's a strategic metabolic stabilizer, ensuring your internal engine runs smoothly, not erratically. Consider the exotic enigma, papaya. Beyond its vibrant sweetness lies papain, a proteolytic enzyme that acts as a precision biological tool. Unlike fruits that merely offer antioxidants, papain directly engages with the aftermath of inflammation. It doesn't just break down proteins. It surgically cleaves the complex, often stubborn, protein-based inflammatory compounds that accumulate in stressed tissues and sluggish circulation. Imagine microscopic janitors methodically clearing the debris of metabolic battles, easing the burden on your lymphatic system, and allowing for cleaner, more efficient nutrient exchange in your legs and joints. It's a gentle yet profound internal detoxifier, paving the way for renewed comfort and fluidity. Finally, let's reconsider the humble pear. When chosen at just the right ripeness, firm with a slight give, this unassuming fruit offers a masterclass in balanced sweetness. Its unique fiber profile, particularly rich in soluble fiber, creates a gel-like matrix in your digestive tract that dramatically slows sugar absorption. But its true genius lies in its strategic pairing potential. Combine a pear with a small handful of almonds or a wedge of aged cheese, and you've created a nutritional symphony that modulates blood sugar response, preventing the inflammatory cascade that can trigger joint discomfort. It's the perfect example of how context transforms a fruit's impact, from potential troublemaker to therapeutic ally. These fruits aren't just alternatives, they're strategic interventions. Each one addresses a specific aspect of the aging body's relationship with movement and comfort, from vascular integrity and uric acid management to insulin sensitivity and enzymatic cleanup. They represent nature's own pharmacy, precisely calibrated to support rather than sabotage your mobility. So as you stand before your fruit bowl tomorrow morning, see it not as a minefield of potential triggers, but as an opportunity for targeted support. Which of these leg-saving allies might you invite into your daily routine? How might you strategically combine them with other foods to maximize their benefits? The path to comfortable movement isn't paved with deprivation. It's illuminated by intelligent, informed choices that honor your body's current needs. 9. We've now reached the turning point, where knowledge transforms into action. This isn't a story of restriction, but of profound empowerment. Your plate becomes your most potent ally in sculpting how your legs feel, how your joints move, and the vibrancy with which you live. This isn't about deprivation, but about profound wisdom. Envision each meal as a conscious act of self-care, a strategic investment in your mobility. It's about intelligent eating, understanding that what fuels your body directly impacts your circulation and the well-being of your joints. Imagine nutrients as tiny negotiators, calming down overactive inflammatory responses that can make joints ache and legs feel heavy. These aren't mere calories. They're crucial for muscle function and nerve transmission, potentially easing those nighttime cramps or restless legs that disrupt your peace. It's a subtle shift in how you approach your plate, but the ripple effects are profound. This is where the transformative cascade begins. Perhaps one morning, that first step out of bed feels less like a cautious negotiation, more like a simple, straightforward movement. A walk around the block leaves your legs lighter, bending to tie your shoes, unburdened by the familiar groan. These aren't isolated incidents. They're the genesis of a new narrative. Firmer steps unlock more confident movement. Calmer motions silence background discomfort, freeing your mind to focus beyond aches. Those clearer mornings, unburdened by stiffness, unfurl new possibilities. Suddenly, flexibility blossoms not just in your limbs, but in your very life. The freedom to say yes to spontaneous outings, to chase grandchildren, to embrace long-lost hobbies. This isn't a pursuit of an elusive fountain of youth. It's the bold reclamation of your vibrant, active present. This journey is paved with clarity, not fear. It's about understanding the why behind your choices, transforming each meal into an act of profound empowerment. It's about taking charge, one sensible, modest adjustment at a time. No radical overhaul is demanded tomorrow. Each intelligent choice is a quiet investment, accumulating dividends in the form of greater comfort and regained independence. So, as you approach your next meal, ask yourself, what single, intelligent shift can I introduce to my plate this week? Not as a sacrifice, but as a deliberate, potent declaration, an investment in a brighter, stronger, more fluid tomorrow.